What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phones and Drones. If you follow the channel, we did our initial unboxing, setup, and first look at this baby right here, that PlayStation Portal. And I have to say, after having some time to talk about it and look at it and really dive into it, I have a lot of thoughts on this device. First things first, knocking it out. For $200, I don't think it's a bad device at all. I think that this is actually one of probably the more fun, less expensive, and I'm going to use that very loosely because $200 is still a lot of money, but I think this is one of the more fun portable devices to have. It is just so limited and handcuffed due to needing Wi-Fi in order to do anything on this, since it is restrictive to just being an accessory and not a standalone device, unfortunately. But needless to say, we have a lot of thoughts on this. I want to jump right into it and tell you all about it. So let me set this down. Basically, what this is Sony's next attempt into the handheld market, right? But unlike a Switch and their past devices like the PSP and all that, there is no spot for a cartridge. There is no standalone OS on here. There is no YouTube or secondary, or I should say, third-party apps on here. This is purely to stream your games from a PS5 to wherever you are with Wi-Fi. Anything you can do on your PS5, you can do on your actual PlayStation Portal. Now, the display on this baby, they settled on the right size for an 8-inch display. If you guys know me, I don't like LCD displays. However, this one does look really good. You're not going to get those saturated blacks and colors like you would with an OLED. But in order to keep prices down, this 8-inch 1080p LCD display with a 60 Hz refresh rate wasn't a bad middle ground. Now, touching on the second part of that equation, the 60 Hertz, yeah, you're going to notice that. If you're coming from a higher refresh rate screen, 120 Hertz, even on an iPhone or an Android phone, if you're playing your games with a backbone controller or just the game on the display itself, you do definitely realize the lack of faster refresh rates. 60 is not bad by any means, but you do notice it. You adjust to it, but it is still there. Just want to get that clean and clear right from Jump Street. Aside from that, display does look good. It really does look great in daylight as well, outside, under cloudy conditions. In bright, direct sunlight, the screen does struggle a little bit, but it is not bad. You can still use it. Just keep in mind, again, with an LCD display, you definitely don't get a crystal clear nano coating over this, so it is not going to block or reflect the light. It does absorb it thanks to that glass overlay, so it does not look super great in bright sunlight, but it does work nonetheless. Now again, this is not going to be your typical travel companion either. You can't go on a flight with this and say travel somewhere just due to that lack of Wi-Fi. Traditionally, Wi-Fi on airplanes and all that aren't good enough to stream a web page, let alone a game. So that's another call out with this as well. Something else to think about too, if you are big on first-person shooters or play a lot of multiplayer games or anything online necessarily, I don't think this is going to be for you, honestly. There is not a ton of lag, but it is there, and we know a millisecond in gaming, especially in Call of Duty or a shooting game like that, could be life or death, right? So I think you're going to have issues with that, but take that for what you will. If you're looking to play Spider-Man, Mortal Kombat, Hogwarts, whatever you guys want to play, Forza, it's going to be a great device to use, and you can use it outside of your home. But keep in mind, Wi-Fi is what's going to make or break this console. Shouldn't even call it a console, it's an accessory. So aside from that also, we have had some hiccups where the graphics just kind of get really pixelated and it wants to say the Wi-Fi is not strong enough, but we were in the same room with our PS5 as we were with the PlayStation Portable, or Portal, and it didn't make sense why one was struggling and the other one didn't. Could it be due to the chip Sony chose for the Wi-Fi, only being Wi-Fi 5? Possibly. But as I said in our other video, since it's only looking to pull a stream of 1080p, Wi-Fi 5 should be plenty, right? Wi-Fi 6 and 6E are much faster, but you need that only for 4K and higher UHD resolutions. You shouldn't have an issue with that here. Having said that, when it worked amazingly well. Yes, you are still going to have that slight lag, even on the best Wi-Fi network we saw, but it's not a deal breaker for us one bit. Again, display looks good. The feel in hand is amazing. the way they kind of just made it so it was a split, a DualSense controller, and threw that middle screen in it for 8 inches, it feels natural to use. It doesn't feel like you're gonna have any fatigue from playing for a long period of time. And that's a good thing because the battery on this is pretty solid. We're getting between 7 and 9 hours of screen on time, which is phenomenal, especially if you're gonna be traveling and moving around with it, since you're not gonna have a charging port right next to you. But having said that, it does charge via USB-C, and we have a couple call outs for this as well. Not surprisingly, you cannot use a USB-C to Ethernet adapter to plug this in. It kind of defeats the purpose on this, but if your use case was your PS5's in one room and you want to be in another room at your same home to kind of plug it in and get that faster, more, streamlined internet, it doesn't notice it. It doesn't recognize it in the USB-C port, so unfortunately you cannot do that. Also, this does take a little while to charge. You're looking at about 2.5 hours to fully charge this baby. Yes, that's not too quick. It does only charge at about 14 watts peak. That's what we found from charging this from about 30% up until about 93. So take that for what you want. There's definitely no fast charging built into this, no power delivery either. It didn't display, so just know that as well. But aside from that, this baby has been really fun. I think the $200 price point does not make this a deal breaker. I think for what it does, it's very value added. I wish you can go on like YouTube and browse the web and do some other things with this than strictly play the games, but that's why Sony's billing it as an accessory, not a standalone unit, so I can understand that. Now, having said that, since this did just come out, keep in mind all the scalpers are going to be out there really price gouging. Don't spend anything more than $200 on this. I don't think it's worth it yet. I do think it'll still improve with software updates that'll come out over the lifespan of this device, but I'm hoping to see the next iteration and all that would be even better than this one. But if you're looking to grab it, keep in mind Bluetooth is not here either. You have to buy separate headphones if you want to use, wireless headphones, or you can use their little PlayStation Link they have, but you have to buy a very expensive, very selective headsets that Sony makes to currently utilize that, and I don't think that's worth it at all right now. Just use a pair of 3.5mm auxiliary port headphones right now. But yeah, that's it for our quick thoughts and takeaways on this. Let us know in the comments what you think. If you pick one up also, make sure to use that referral code we have in the description down below. It definitely helps the channel out. We greatly appreciate it. And yeah, if you have one, let us know any pros and cons you've discovered as well. Like I said, not a perfect machine. Nothing in its first gen is going to be, but this baby does have some flukes and flaws, but I think the pros outweigh the cons here. Go pick one up, let us know what you think, and let us know. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.